Well, that was a brilliant build-up to what is a special night, a great sporting night for Leicester. This team that continues to provide memories to last Foxes fans a lifetime. And the Foxes' eyes, those huge blue eyes, have disappeared, but they're still pumping steam from scaffolding which is hanging from the roof of the stand here as the two captains come together to shake hands. Gabby, the experienced Gabby of Atletico Madrid, and Wes Morgan, 33 years old himself, who's made it just in time. And they shake hands too with the Italian officials. It's Gianluca Rocchi, the very experienced Italian referee who was in charge when Manchester City were sent out of the Champions League this season in Monaco, I remember. So the formalities are completed and Leicester City's players break away now. Blue shirts, blue shorts, blue socks. Most of the flags, those foil blue, gold and silver flags, have disappeared too. Atletico Madrid in their red and white striped shirts, red shorts and red socks. In the first half they're going to play from left to right. It's Leicester City against Atletico Madrid. It's the second leg of the Champions League quarter-final. It's here on BBC 5 Live. Danny Mills is with us, Champions League semi-finalist. It's a huge task, Danny, to do it again tonight.
It is incredibly difficult, but this is Leicester. You know, this is the team that break all records, that continually surprise us. You know, look what happened after Claudio Ranieri was sacked, the bounce that they had. The last round against Sevilla here was incredible. The atmosphere didn't need ramping up, but obviously the incredible what they did. Steam coming down from every 10 yards around the ground, fireworks. I mean, this crowd, just give them something to shout about.
So the match begins. Leicester City against Atletico Madrid. Is it going to be the last hurrah for Leicester, or are we going to have another glorious act of Leicester City underdoggery? Because they are the outsiders. Atletico Madrid are the favourites, leading through that controversial penalty that was scored at the Vicente Calderón by Antoine Griezmann. And a throw-in to Leicester on the far side of the field. Leicester defending the end to our right with Schmeichel in goal. A back four of Simpson, Morgan, Benalouan and Fuchs. Mahrez, Drinkwater and Didi and Albrighton in midfield. Okazaki and Vardy. And then Atletico Madrid, as the ball is played up through the middle to Carrasco. Now it's on the left-hand side. It's angled back. Juan Fran plays it back. The boos and whistles from all of these Leicester City supporters, 30,000 plus of them. There's a red and white splash in one corner, the fans from Madrid. Here's Griezmann on the edge of the area, but stabs the ball through the inside left position, and an easy pick up to Schmeichel. As Schmeichel launches this ball downfield. That was very much the way of the first leg in Madrid for Leicester, but it's headed out of play by Godin for a throw-in on the halfway line. And the Atletico team, Oblak in goal, Juan Fran, Savic, Godin and Felipe Luis at the back, Gabi and Jimenez in the middle, Saul Niguez, Koke, Carrasco and Griezmann. Torres is on the bench tonight, but 9 of this team started the Champions League final last season for Atletico Madrid in Milan. As the ball is played back to Schmeichel, who very coolly just drags it away from the arriving Griezmann. And Leicester City, we wondered how they would start, Danny, whether it would be a pacey, powerful, high-tempo start, but it is quite a calm approach so far from Leicester, looking to keep the ball. Here's Ndidi, who's got black gloves on tonight, even though we're into April.
So's Okazaki as well. I mean, it's a little bit chilly for a mid-April evening. It's not that cold, is it?
No, it's not. As Atletico Madrid played up towards Carrasco in the centre circle. It breaks for Griezmann now. Danger here already for Leicester, but Griezmann actually checks back from a promising position and plays it back all the way into his own half, which I think probably tells you a great deal about Atletico's approach. Here they go with Felipe Luis down the left-hand side though. A marauding run from him, but Drinkwater's able to come across and easily dispossess him and play it away. And then it finds its way back to Wes Morgan, who clears first time up towards Okazaki, who's challenged very firmly from behind there, but no free kick. And Atletico with Gabi, played to the right-hand side here to Juan Fran, the right back. who has a little look in field, then plays it back behind him. Gabby is there, and then Vardy's in with a challenge to take the ball and a little bit of a man, Danny, and put it out for a throw.
But one thing this Atletico Madrid side don't mind, is a little bit of feistiness. They don't mind a few challenges. If you want to have a fight with them, they will happily stand up and do that.
Here's Mahrez. I know a lot of Leicester City fans feel he needs a big night tonight from Riyad Mahrez. Plays it forward for Vardy to chase. Vardy, it's been shielded by Savic. The ball runs out of play, and it is a goal kick. Final touch off the Leicester man.
And that's where Atletico Madrid are very, very good. Savic knows where the problem is. And like I said, Godin, Savic, there aren't too many Premier League defenders like this that are prepared to either have a race with Jamie Vardy or get right up against him and have a tussle with him, have a little bit of a fight with him. So he's going to have to be really crafty in how he makes his runs this evening.
That's Danny Mills. This is BBC 5 Live. Here at the King Power Stadium, Leicester City 0, Atletico Madrid 0. Throw in, taken long by Fuchs, which is headed away by Savic. Pumped forward again by Albrighton down the left flank. Savic with a header out of play, and already Diego Simeone's pointing and waving his finger at the assistant. Fuchs on the left-hand side. Now Albrighton, been such an important part of this Champions League run. Mark Albrighton scored the very first goal of it. Now takes it on. Little pass from Drinkwater, but it breaks down. And then Leicester very quickly there, back in possession as soon as that ball was lost by Drinkwater. And now Simpson loses out with a challenge on the halfway line. And Atletico go back into their own half, and all the way back, in fact, to the very good Slovenian international goalkeeper Jan Oblak, who clears from the ground into the centre circle. A glancing header on by Saúl Ñíguez. Remember the goal that he scored in the semi-final last season. Now Albrighton sweeps it forward. Savic is there for Atletico to launch one downfield, but Morgan allows to bounce and then nods to his left to Benalouan, this tall, shaven-headed French under-21 international who is in for the suspended Robert Huth, who I'm sure will be here watching, biting his nails, probably, the big German. Leicester 0, Atletico Madrid 0. And the ball on the halfway line for Leicester with Mahrez. Square it goes to Fuchs. Now Albrighton on the left-hand side. Little touch again from the left-back Fuchs, and then into the challenge from Saúl, but it's run now to Vardy in the full-back area. Vardy teasing Wanfran. Back to up the line towards Fuchs. Very cagey start here. Only the one goal so far in the tie. If it were to go to extra time tonight, it would have to be 1-0 to Leicester after 90 minutes. And it's all the way back now on the halfway line with Morgan again. So none of the gun-ho start that we might have expected. But here's Fuchs now on the left-hand side, curls it over. Okazaki is there and is able to head it weakly goalwards, and it bounces down. He was slightly off balance there, he was being challenged, and the goalkeeper's able to come out and pick it up.
Yeah, all he could really do was just flick that on. He was more than 12 yards out. Not a lot he could have done with that header. But you look at it already, Atletico Madrid unbelievably well organised. Two banks of four, the two players up front, they are so well drilled. Just as that ball came back from the header from Benalouan, the four midfielders were in a perfect line.
Nice touch from Vardy, a little flick to Drinkwater, who burst through towards the full-back position. He's got two Atletico players with him. He was looking for Albrighton, but as Albrighton arrived, that pace, the deflection went straight out of play for a throw into Atletico. So Leicester City, obviously the only English club to reach the quarter-finals this season, the English champions, won the title last season for the first time in the club's history against Atletico Madrid, who've been Spanish champions 10 times in all. They won it in 2014 most recently, with Diego Simeone, the driving force behind that. Their very, very highly rated coach, who is, as Danny said, all in black overcoat as well, and he's watching Leicester City coming forward from right to left. Played forward by Albrighton. Vardy's after it through the inside left position, but again, Godin was there, shoulder to shoulder, and it evaded both of them and through for a goal kick.
So far, what the two centre-backs done, Savic and Godin, have done with Jamie Vardy, they're not overly scared of his pace. They're quite happy to have a race with him if he wants to go in behind. So they're getting touch tight. As the ball comes over the top, they're putting their bodies in the way. They're giving him those clever little nudges. Not enough to give a foul away, just get in his way at times. I mean, dark arts, call it whatever you want, but they are very, very good defenders.
One of those classic football phrases. Danny, was very much in use over the course of the past 24 hours. The first goal is going to be so important, and it feels to me that the players are well aware of that.
It is. I mean, realistically, can you see Leicester scoring 3 goals against this side? Not really. It's going to be very, very difficult. So Leicester, they've just got to do what they're doing. They've got to keep it tight, not allow Atletico any real decent chances early on in the game.
I agree with that. My other thought, though, in the build-up to this game has been Leicester have got a free kick, foul on Okazaki inside their own half. You know, over the course of last season, this season so far, even this season, still there have been nights and days here where suddenly, against big opposition, they've won very well. But not against Atletico Madrid in this defence.
And not against Diego Simeone.
No. Here they come, Will, with Mahrez weaving his way in field. A little touch, though, a little challenge that came in on him from Jimenez, the Uruguayan who's come into the Atletico team. Leicester back in possession, though. Okazaki now evades a challenge. It's worked across. Drinkwater snatched at the shot. He was being challenged. It took a deflection, and goalkeeper Oblak sprinted along his dead ball line and patted the ball down before it could go out for a corner.
But who was chasing back on the edge of his own D? Antoine Griezmann. You know, that's what this team does. They play as a real team, just like Leicester did last season. You know, they're very, very similar in their approaches. Atletico obviously have a little bit more quality.
Here's the mobile Griezmann, who's well challenged though. The ball runs to Felipe Luis, the former Chelsea man, briefly, Chelsea man, out on the left-hand side under Mourinho in his last successful season there. Atletico Madrid now towards the corner of the penalty area. It's back from Koke. Remember Koke's shot that hit the bar early on at the Vicente Calderon. Breaks down though, and Leicester come forward again. Okazaki will be second to it. He was beaten to it by Gabi on the halfway line. It's still 0-0, very early stages here on 5 Live. It's bounced off Ndidi, and now it's being brought forward for Atletico by Carrasco, but an excellent challenge, and Leicester played away, but that's way beyond Albrighton and out of play for a throw to the visitors.
Big difference between the two sides at the moment, I feel, is that when Atletico attack, they're attacking as a team. You know, they're looking for little passes, trying to play people in behind. They'll win the second ball. Leicester are attacking in 1s and 2s at the moment, so it's a little bit one-dimensional. When it breaks down, it's quite easy for Atletico to pick up the loose ball.
Koke wriggles away from Ndidi. Now Griezmann might open up for him. Plays it to Carrasco, left side of the area, works it back, and defender Simpson slides in, puts it behind for a corner, but that prevented it from reaching Griezmann. Crucial corner.
Great sliding challenge. It would have been behind Griezmann, I think, but perfect example of what I was talking about. Atletico go forward, 3 or 4 players involved in the move after winning it back after the centre-backs.
Right, first set piece. It's a corner. Koke is going to take it for the left-hand side for Atletico Madrid. Godin, always such a threat from these sort of situations. He scored some big goals from set pieces, Godin. Champions League final, league clinching headers in Spain. That one against Barcelona in that 2014 season. So keep an eye on him, the number 2. Koke plays it into the near post, and it's headed away there by Drinkwater. A crowded near post, but Drinkwater just glided across and headed it well away and out for a throw-in on the far side. Leicester City 0, Atletico Madrid 0.
Just look at Antoine Griezmann, John. He's just stood on the penalty spot, way beyond all the Leicester defenders. He's come right away from the ball, just causing them problems. He's making them think, do they drop back, do they mark him, who's going to pick him up?
And also Carrasco's been floating around as well, hasn't he, from left to right. And the throw-in taken by Atletico Madrid, but Drinkwater's in with a challenge and plays it off Felipe Luis for a throw-in to Leicester 0-0.
And that's not by accident. You know, when at the moment Griezmann's the focal point, you know, Carrasco will be around him. When Carrasco's the focal point, Griezmann drops back in. They have a fantastic understanding of each other's, and this is the whole team, of their positions on the pitch and their job. And if they have to fill in for somebody, they do it very, very quickly, and they know exactly what they have to do.
Back in Madrid, it's still 0-0 between the holders, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. So Real 2-1 up from that extremely good first leg. I don't know whether you had a chance to watch that as well. But Real obviously the favourites to go through to yet another semi-final. Here, Atletico Madrid. We couldn't possibly have another Atletico Madrid-Real Madrid final, could we? Here we are, ball being played forward. by Saul. Now Carrasco drives it across, but it's beyond Koke, who is arriving. That was flirting with danger, but it's away and out for a throw-in on the far side.
Koke applauds the ball in at the back post. Was just 2 or 3 yards short of making that. It was a brilliant ball in across the 6-yard box, in behind the Leicester defence. No one really wanted to put a foot out, just in case they diverted it into their own net. Koke coming in from that left-hand side was only a couple of yards short of having a tap in at the far post.
Leicester City 0, Atletico Madrid 0. BBC 5 Live with Gabi, Atletico's experienced midfielder, playing the ball to the right-hand side to Juan Fran, who just gives us a little step over. Albrighton's back with him, and Juan Fran will tuck it behind him to Savic, the Montenegrin, the former Manchester City man, who finds his fellow central defender Godin. A long pass forward, which is taken down by Saul, who's going to shoot from 30 yards, but unconvincingly dragged it well wide for a goal kick to Leicester that Schmeichel will take.
I'm not sure Godin intended that pass. I think he was looking for the wider player in that move, but it found its way to Saul, who cut inside on his left foot and never really caught hold of it.
It's the Atletico Madrid fans who are making noise in the corner of the ground.
Sorry, John, we're just getting a picture of their bench. I mean, what an incredible bench they have. Torres, Correa, Gamero, Gaitan. Some quality they've got in that squad.
Yes, and Okazaki on the left-hand side, but he's challenged, and a lovely touch from Griezmann. Really lovely touch. Took 2 Leicester players out of the game. Saul plays it infield, but it's won back this time by Simpson, who came all the way across to put in that challenge, and then a long ball forward from Drinkwater is straight away through to Oblak.
Leicester are being put under pressure like Leicester would normally put other teams under pressure, and at the moment, like I said, they're going long a little bit too early. They've just got to try and keep the ball for a little bit longer, because when you go long and you've only got one option on, it's very, very easy for the 2 centre-backs to defend Jamie Vardy. One can go tight, one can drop off, and that nullifies the threat.
That's a great point you made about the Atletico bench as well. Kevin Gamero among the substitutes. He's just coming back from injury. He can be deadly as well, as Liverpool found out in the Europa League final last season. Leicester playing it down the right, Simpson, but it's over. Mahrez comes back to Ndidi, who works it into the penalty area, and actually I think took a deflection, and it was straight through to Oblak. So far, quarter of an hour played, and neither goalkeeper has had a save to make. That's how cagey it's been. 0-0. Craig Shakespeare on the edge of his coaching area. There is something quite surreal and I would say amusing about the fact that the English champions find themselves coached by a man called Shakespeare, and certainly it amused the Spaniards I was talking to yesterday. Here is Carrasco through the middle. Carrasco taking it on. He's running at an angle, still going towards the corner of the penalty area. Fuchs has gone with him. He's waiting for support now. It is there from Juan Fran, but Carrasco doesn't use him. Puts his foot on the ball and turns it behind him to Gabi, who plays it forward to Juan Fran, but the ball runs away from him. A little bit like a ball racing towards the boundary over at Grace Road, and he wasn't going to cut off the boundary, and it's a goal kick to Leicester.
Albrighton is very, very lucky. He just took his eye off the ball for a moment. He was looking round, didn't quite know where the ball was or where his man was. It was a great ball played in behind for Juan Fran. I mean, and he's only half a yard away from making that. Half a yard too much pace on the ball. And again, that would have been another cross in behind the Leicester defence.
Still no goals tonight anywhere, either here in Madrid or indeed in the Bolton-Bury game, which we're keeping a close eye on tonight in League One. Ball is with Oblak. Jamie Vardy's just hovering a few yards away from him. Oblak, long high delivery through the middle, which Benalouan actually takes down on his chest and plays coolly out to Simpson on the right hand side. Simpson, long pass towards Okazaki. Now Felipe Luis launches a high ball forward. We've seen quite a lot of that in this game, haven't we? Long balls from the goalkeeper, long balls from the back.
Simeone has clearly done his homework, and he knows about the threat of Jamie Vardy. I mean, the two, Godin is man marking Vardy at the moment, and Savic is just dropping in behind him. You know, Vardy's getting isolated, and they're playing 2-on-1. Like I said, one player goes very, very tight with Vardy to challenge for the header, and the second one drops off just in case it goes extra long and goes in behind, and Vardy just can't really get a kick at the moment.
Okazaki is manhandled over by Gabi, so that's a free kick to Leicester. in the centre circle, and there are two Leicester players on yellow cards, as it were, if they get through. Would miss the first leg of the semi-final if they're booked. Jamie Vardy and Ndidi, two players on the field, that is, while Jimenez is the one Atletico Madrid player that applies to. Right, free kick then after that challenge, and Schmeichel's come all the way up towards the centre circle to take this free kick. 6 Leicester players on the edge of the area. Here it comes, but it's headed down and away by Jimenez. Comes back to Fuchs on the left-hand side. Now Albrighton, little ball to Ndidi. Ndidi nicely glides away from Carrasco. Drinkwater thinks about the long ball in. They're still up. Morgan is still up, but they've gone back to the halfway line. Morgan now is calling for it. Simpson with a long pass. Morgan on the edge of the area, challenged from behind by Savage. It bounces off him and is cleared away. Only to Fuchs though. Little touch out to the left-hand side to Albrighton. Congested penalty area. Albrighton right-footed ball in, and it comes off the head of Jimenez and bounces behind for the roar that will tell you it's a Leicester corner.
Leicester have got to make the most of every single set piece they have this evening. Of course, they're missing Huth, who is always a huge threat from set pieces. But Wes Morgan and Ndidi in there as well. It's all about the quality for Mahrez though.
Here it is then, quality required. Mahrez to the near post, Felipe Luis with a header. Ndidi was right behind him, might have fouled him, no free kick. Headed back towards the area by Fuchs, and then Benalouan is all over the back of Godin. Free kick in the D to Atletico Madrid.
It's a silly foul from Benalouan. Godin's going up, it's a looping ball, he can't get any power to clear that, and he just jumps into him and lets Atletico off the hook. But one thing you do know about Atletico, they can defend like nobody else, like no other European team. You can throw balls into their box all day long, and they're one of the only European teams that will actually relish that.
Yep, 7 clean sheets in their last 9 matches. 6 clean sheets in 9 matches in the Champions League this season. But Leicester City have won all of their home matches in this competition, in this historic first campaign in this competition, and only conceded 1 goal here. But again, they haven't been playing against Atletico Madrid. Morgan to the right hand side to Simpson on this cool spring night. It's been a beautifully sunny day in the city of Leicester, and there's been a real buzz around the place today, I must tell you, in the city centre, with Atletico Madrid fans out and about as well, of anticipation for this game. Schmeichel with the ball at his feet, spins a pass. We can see the floodlights glinting off the top of Benalouan's head as he brings it towards the halfway line. Now Albrighton, little 1-2 with Fuchs, right-footed ball, it's found its way all the way through to Mahrez, central position, lovely pass from Mahrez to Vardy in the box on the left, plays it into Okazaki, whose shot is wide of the angle of post and bar and into the stand to our left.
Vardy did really well. He had to wait, be very, very patient. When the ball first arrived, he had nowhere to go. There was nobody in the box. Okazaki coming from late and very, very quickly. I mean, it's always going to be difficult for him. He was well wide of the goal. It was pulled back to him very, very quickly, and he almost couldn't quite sort his feet out in the end. Just had to stab it with the outside of his right foot. But Godin was there, putting him under pressure.
That's the first sniff, really, for Leicester. Still Leicester City 0, Atletico Madrid 0. Here on 5 Live. We'll be at Old Trafford, by the way, on Thursday night. Commentary from the Europa League quarter-final. Manchester United against Anderlecht. So that is our offering on Thursday night. Tonight, Leicester City in this Champions League quarter-final. And Simpson stretching to avoid it reaching Carrasco. Felipe Luis with it on the left-hand side with that thin white headband on, long hair down his neck. Now back towards the halfway line where it's played square to Gabi. Puts his foot on the ball. Gabi, one of the great pillars of this Diego Simeone successful Atletico Madrid team. 2 finals, 2 Champions League finals in the last 3 seasons against Real Madrid, where, you know, I remember, I wasn't in Milan last year, but I was in Lisbon, and I remember their fans being so good, the Atletico Madrid fans, and so cruel in both finals, really, that they had to watch their city rivals, their well-heeled city rivals, winning the European Cup, the Champions League, for the 10th and 11th times. 0-0 still in Madrid between Real and Bayern. 0-0 here in the East Midlands as Leicester played to the right hand side. And Mahrez drops his shoulder, plays it through to Okazaki, who is closely watched by Godin, who slipped away from central defence. Mahrez now, 3 Atletico players around him, and they do a job on him. I think it might have been Felipe Luis who fouled him in the end, but it's a free kick to Leicester on the right.
Might even have been Griezmann coming back. He's the one complaining to the referee. But again, how hard did this Atletico side work? Better from Mahrez. When he gets the ball on that right-hand side, he's got to attack people. He's got to run and try and commit people. If he gets past the first man, then that's when Atletico are in real trouble.
However, it's another set piece for Leicester out on the right. Mahrez and Drinkwater are out there. 2-man Atletico Madrid wall. Still 0-0 on what has been an extremely tight first 23 minutes of this second leg. Atletico still leading by that Griezmann penalty from the first leg in the Calderón. The clappers are clapping. Everyone holds their breath. Free kick for Leicester. Mahrez plays it in, but too deep into the 6-yard box, where Oblak is able to catch it unchallenged.
Quality's just going to be a little bit better than that. I mean, it's an easy catch in the end, but Oblak sees it all the way. It didn't have enough pace on it, wasn't flat enough. Just looped it up, and Oblak came and took it very, very easily.
Mahrez now away from Felipe Luis. He's got Vardy to his right. Mahrez running at the Atletico defensive break for Vardy, who was in an offside position, and the flag does go up. And even if Vardy had been able to convert, which he couldn't, it would have been ruled out.
He had one touch too many. Vardy would have been in. Mahrez looked like he just hesitated. He should have released Vardy earlier. Had an extra touch, and of course that meant that Jamie Vardy was offside. But that's what I'm talking about. Mahrez breaks the first challenge. He gets past Felipe Luis, and then he just hesitates. And by the time the ball gets there, Jamie Vardy's 2 yards offside.
0-0. Diego Simeone, shiny black shoes. He was absolutely right yesterday when he said to us that he expected this match to be extremely tight. Here's Juanfran on the right, and then Saul is challenged by Fuchs, and Leicester have got it back with Albrighton, who did well. Nice piece of footwork away from Saul, but the ball downfield, nowhere near Vardy. And Atletico being pressed by Drinkwater. It's played forward by Gabi now. Griezmann. Saul feels he was fouled, but the ball's gone, and Atletico are coming forward, and Koke plays it through almost to Carrasco. Crucial interception from Wes Morgan on the edge of the area. Still danger though. Felipe Luis with a cross. It's a deep one. Saul with a header. It's in. Atletico Madrid take the lead. What a blow for Leicester. A brilliantly directed header from Saul Niguez into the bottom corner beyond Schmeichel's dive, and it's 1-0 to Atletico Madrid, 2-0 on aggregate. It's a long way back from this for Leicester now.
What a header that was. Absolutely unbelievable. Fabulous ball in from Felipe Luis. Picked out his man Saul absolutely perfectly. It's a great challenge initially from Wes Morgan to get the ball out wide, but as Felipe Luis whips this ball into the far post, Saul's completely unmarked, and it's the perfect header. Absolutely textbook. Back across where the ball comes from, just uses the pace of the ball to guide it into the far corner. Kasper Schmeichel rooted to the spot. Very, very difficult to get across. It ends up maybe just a foot inside the far post. It almost looked slow motion from where we were. We were right behind it. But that's very, very cruel for Leicester. That one fabulous ball into the box, completely unmarked at the far post, and the most perfect of headers.
Really, one chance and one goal for Atletico Madrid. So 1-0 in the Spanish capital, and now 1-0 here in Leicester. So Leicester are going to have to score 3 goals.
Extra time's out.
Without reply. Yes, no extra time. Albrighton. Back to Fuchs. But, Craig Shakespeare will have briefed them about this. What to do, what to think if you go a goal behind. It came in the 27th minute, incidentally, as Fuchs plays it through onto the chest of Okazaki. Played back out to the left-hand side. Albrighton stretching, playing it in right-footed. Comes off the head of Gabi. And Didi heads it across the penalty area, but it's nodded away by Savic and cleared further away. And everyone was back there for Atletico Madrid. Carrasco racing forward, but Schmeichel gets there first, 10 yards from the halfway line, and just volleys it downfield out of play. Danny Mills.
I said before the game, I couldn't see this game going without Atletico scoring. Probably didn't expect it to come from that source. It was an absolutely perfect cross. But how on earth is Saul completely unmarked? There's no one within 5 yards of him at the far post. You know, that it's a fabulous header. But it's from 12 yards out as well. Somebody has got to be closer to him. Stop getting in and around him. Somehow just getting a nudge on him, stop him having a free header. Because he's got such a free header, he doesn't have to jump. He plants both his feet and just puts his whole body through it and heads it back from where it comes from right into the corner of the net.
Yeah. And he is just one of this talented group of Atletico Madrid players, as Ndidi plays the ball forward, but that'll roll all the way through to Oblak, the goalkeeper. So it's a huge task now. It was always going to be a huge task, but from 1-0 down to score 3 times without reply against this team, against Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. But while there's life, there is hope. Ndidi chesting down and playing it to Albrighton, who heads it forward to Vardy. Then Okazaki knocks it down into his own path, but shows too much of it to Godin, who's able to clear it away out of play on the halfway line. But Saul, I mentioned, do you remember that goal that he scored against Bayern Munich?
Wasn't bad, was it?
In the semi-final last year, which was a fantastic goal. You know, that was all skill and touch, wasn't it? Whereas this one, a clever header, as you've said. Only 22 years old. And yeah, they were telling me yesterday, the regular Atletico Madrid watchers, that, you know, they said Simeone will definitely stay for another season. He will not leave at the end of this season, because they want, and he's agreed to see them into their new stadium. And they were saying the same thing about Griezmann to me. They said Griezmann will stay. We'll see, I suppose, in terms of how much money is offered for him.
Griezmann might be offered a little bit more money than Simeone is.
The talk was 150 million euros for Griezmann. That's what it would take to prize him away from Atletico Madrid.
But if you're talking about Manchester United or Chelsea, that's 1 year's money for the Premier League. You know, it's not a huge problem, is it, to pay that sort of money if you really want to.
And Vardy is shrugged off the ball on the far side by Godin. Leicester have it back in the centre circle, and Benalaoun is able to drop back into his own half and give it to Fuchs. Forward up the left-hand side to Albrighton. An early reply for Leicester would be the sort of thing that Craig Shakespeare is after. Albrighton swings a high pass right across field. Mahrez had to wait for him, so Felipe Luis was all over him, but Mahrez kept it well. Now Ndidi through the middle towards Okazaki, 25 yards out. Okazaki does well there under severe pressure, but Mahrez has it nicked away from him by Jimenez, and now Griezmann just inside his own half. Griezmann gets it back, his hair held back by one of those bands, and then through the middle it goes, another little 1-2. Saul is onto this, dangerously exchanged passes with Koke. Now Carrasco on the edge of the area, back to Saul, left-footed shot, but it's straight at Schmeichel, who's able to leap high and pat it down in front of him.
It was a good hit from 5-10 yards outside the box, catches it well, fortunately for Kasper Schmeichel, pretty much straight at him, but in the build-up to that, in his own half, you know, around the centre circle in his own half, Griezmann's feet, his ability, close control is absolutely exceptional. The ball rarely leaves his foot by more than 6 inches. So when someone comes in to tackle him, he's always there just to tow it away, just to get it away from that oncoming challenge.
26 years old he is, so just about in his prime. In the early years of his prime, you would say 24 goals this season. And I'll tell you what is a question, you know, where is the best place to play him, and what sort of player do you want playing with him? As Saul has just had that shot that was saved, plays it forward.
I think he's clever enough, John, to play with whoever he wants, because he can play the lone striker role. He is prepared to run in behind. At the moment, he's dropped right deep into midfield, almost playing as a central midfielder at the moment. You know, he has ability and awareness to make it work wherever he is on the pitch.
Leicester City 0, Atletico Madrid 1 on the night, 2-0 on aggregate. So the odds are even greater against Leicester City. But Ndidi to Okazaki. Drinkwater lifts a pass down the left to Vardy. There's only Okazaki in the middle. Vardy crosses, took a deflection off Savage, and then was cleared by Jimenez, who's dropped back in there to join the defence. Jimenez. But the final touch here as Vardy plays it off Savage means it's another corner to Leicester. Albrighton to take it. We have just over 10 minutes to go to half-time here. And Leicester, right-footed corner. Albrighton waiting to take it. Lots of grappling in the middle. In it goes to the edge of the 6-yard box, but easily, comfortably headed away. Out to Leicester though, and Fuchs. Albrighton with space, puts his foot on it, crosses it right-footed. Headed away well by Jimenez. Mahrez with a shot. It's straight at Oblak. Pretty much straight at him, and he was able to take it into his midriff. Okazaki was close. He couldn't make a mistake there, Oblak, and he held it well.
Mahrez did well. It was a really high looping clearance, and he took a little bit of pace off it to make sure he got it on target. Unfortunately, it went straight at Oblak. It was a decent strike. Either side of him might have caused him a problem. But just have a look at Simeone down on the touchline after that. He's absolutely furious. But nobody got anywhere near Mahrez to close him down.
I get the impression he'd be a difficult taskmaster.
Well, I think he's one of those, isn't he? Clearly you'd be ruled by fear.
Yeah.
You know? But I think he will accept mistakes, but you've got to work hard, and you've got to do the right thing. You've got to do, well, I suppose, the easy but the ugly side of the game. You've got to work very, very hard, be in the right position, give 100% every single training session, every single game.
Throw in for Leicester, 10 yards inside the Atletico half. Drinkwater receives it, then plays it back to Benalouan.
But equally, John, if you do well for him, he will praise you, to the hilt. He will give you all the praise in the world.
I said to another of the Atletico Madrid people, Hugo, who I was talking to last night, that I said, you realise, of course, that every time any of our top jobs, it's always Diego. And he said to me, he will not come to England. He said he'll not come to English. Yeah, no, well, he did say that they believe that he is learning English as Felipe Luis plays the ball out of play. Thought there was a touch from Okazaki, and it is a free throw in to Atletico halfway inside their own half. Of course, the Argentina job is available at the moment. He said that he's not spoken to them, but as I say, he intends staying with Atletico Madrid certainly for next season. Simeone, long ball downfield. Carrasco works it infield. It's a one-on-one race with Morgan, but actually the ball was out of play before Carrasco hit it forward, so it's a throw into Leicester.
But you do have to wonder, why would he leave? 2 Champions League finals in the last 3 years. They're regularly challenged now for the title. So, why not? Where better could he go at the moment?
He has Fuchs.
And he's loved there, isn't he? He's an absolute hero worshipped.
Fuchs ran into Gabi, and now Griezmann in possession on the halfway line, and he's setting off on a run. He's away from Drinkwater. Benalouan and Drinkwater ran into one another, and now Koke back to Griezmann on the left hand side. Griezmann has a look over his shoulder. There's no one there. Leicester have got back in numbers, but this is dangerous again. Another goal now would absolutely surely finish it. Jimenez with a lovely ball out to the right hand side to Juan Fran. Now it's worked across by Carrasco. Saul near the penalty spot, to the left to Griezmann, corner of the area, waiting for the overlapping run. In fact, doesn't use Felipe Luis, plays it back to Koke. Now Felipe Luis again on the left hand side. He's on his left foot, and he's all left foot, so he actually has to play it back to Koke behind him. Once again, Felipe Luis.
They're toying with Leicester. They're in control of this game. They're in control of the tie. Now that it's 2-0, they've got the away goal as well. I mean, they're just being very, very patient, saying, come and get the ball off us, and we'll just wait until you leave that little gap that we can exploit.
Yeah, and then we'll be through you in a flash. Carrasco back out to the left-hand side. Carrasco and Felipe Luis. Leicester haven't had a touch for a little while, and then that's quite a heavy challenge on Felipe Luis, but no free kick. Indeed, he plays it forward. Vardy now can't get there. Godin was there first. Humps it forward to the edge of the area where it's headed away by Simpson. Benalouan comes forward, wins the header, but he's out of position now as it's played back. But again, this extremely well-drilled Atletico Madrid team know exactly what they're doing with this lead, taking no chances. Saul just holds it, and they're having possession. They're enjoying possession inside the Leicester City half. Juan Fran, might be more than that. Juan Fran with a cross, blocked by Fuchs. and then played back to Gavi. Now Jimenez, the Uruguayan, who played against England, if you remember, at the World Cup in Brazil. Felipe Luis tries a shot from way out on the left-hand side, and he'll be getting a piece of Simeone's mind for that after this first half finishes, because he blasted it halfway up the stand.
Yeah, very ambitious shot from Felipe Luis.
He did score on Saturday against Osasuna.
Well, not from 25 yards out like that, I bet he didn't. But no, I think we often don't give this Atletico Madrid the credit for the technical ability they have. We always talk about their defence, how good they are, how organised they are, how hard working they are. But technically, they are absolutely brilliant. Their passing moves, their touch, their one-touch passing, movement off the ball in little triangles is absolutely exceptional at times.
It's 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. Saúl scoring with a header, brilliantly directed header from Felipe Luis's cross in the 27th minute. So it's 2-0 on aggregate. Still 0-0 between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. That's 2-1 to Real, as Fuchs can't get any further than the corner of the penalty area. It bounces to Griezmann inside his own half, and Fuchs has stayed down, and he's out of position, and here's Carrasco now. Benalouin in with the challenge. It breaks for Carrasco inside the box. Drinkwater, Carrasco's still going. Schmeichel comes out, and eventually they've been able to smuggle the ball away. Carrasco almost did it all on his own there.
Well, more by luck than judgment, Leicester managed to somehow in the end get the ball away. It was a silly challenge from Benalouin as he came sliding in on the edge of the box.
Now the ball given away by Ndidi, 10 yards inside his own half. Fuchs is back on his feet and he's trotting back into position. Memories there of that goal that Carrasco scored against Arsenal in the Champions League a couple of years ago when he was playing for Monaco. 1-0 to Atletico here. And I'll ask you, Danny, when we get a chance, about what the approach should be now from Leicester in this position. What the best managers that you played for would have said to you in this position. But it's Atletico with the ball at the back, and Savic looking to play. He's going to go all the way back to Oblak, so you can answer that.
The problem, I'm not sure Leicester have a plan B. This is what worked for them last year in the Premier League, allowing the opposition to have possession and hitting people on the counter-attack. Unfortunately, they've just come up against one of the best teams in Europe, and not only one of the best teams, one of the best teams that are prepared to have a fight with you and can stand up to that physical battle. They are prepared for that, and they are very, very good at that. I think, Leicester just can't get into the game.
All Brian's passes cut out by Savic, aimed for Okazaki.
Look down their bench. What can they do? Not an awful lot, really. Could they go and play two up top? Could they go 4-3-3 perhaps? They've got to change something, because at the moment they're getting absolutely dominated.
Coquet playing the ball over the top for Carrasco to chase, but Simpson comes across and gets himself in the way of Carrasco and the ball. So Schmeichel cleared. 1-0 on the night to Atletico Madrid. Morgan playing the ball forward for Vardy. Vardy wins the throw in there on the far side. You have to admire Jamie Vardy's front running. He is tireless, and he's doing it all by himself. Throwing.
That's something that Craig Shakespeare, he's got to change something at half-time. He's got to get somebody alongside Jamie Vardy.
Okazaki's doing his best.
He's too deep. He's way off him. He's playing well behind him. Get Mahrez up alongside him.
Diego Simeone looks as though he's trying to flag down a cab in Nottingham. He's throwing for Leicester on the right, and the referee's not happy about, who is it? Gabi and Ndidi.
Why do referees do that? Why do they stop it before the ball comes in? It's a cop-out.
They've sent Fuchs right across there to take this long throw, and here it comes spearing in, but it's headed away. They were prepared for it. Saúl it was, with a defensive header this time, as opposed to the attacking header that he opened the scoring with. It's Fuchs again, taking a long throw on the right near the corner flag. Here it comes spiralling in, but a towering header away by Jimenez this time. He was up almost half a body height above anyone else there to head it away.
And that's all about attitude, John. They are unlike any other European football side. They enjoy defending. They are happy to go and attack the ball. They don't mind the physical challenge at the back. You can put crosses in, you can put long throws in all day long. and they will lap it up. So Leicester have got to do something a little bit different.
And listen, don't forget the fact that there is this great hunger about Atletico Madrid because of falling short in the Champions League twice in the last 3 seasons, in the circumstances that they did, on penalties last season, and when they thought they were going to win it against Real Madrid in Lisbon, and then Real Madrid scored that lead equaliser and won it in extra time. On one of the screens here, they're just showing that incident when Carrasco was through and Schmeichel came out to challenge him, the suggestion being that they might have had a case for a penalty for Schmeichel on Carrasco. But it is Leicester at the other end just now. Fuchs, who seems to have shrugged off whatever knock it was. Now Albright in a right-footed cross from an angle. Oblak comes and Oblak catches.
Same thing, isn't it? Leicester put the ball in. Either one of the defenders come and head it, or Oblak come and takes it off. And just looking back at that possible penalty appeal, I mean, in super slow motion, there maybe is a Kasper Schmeichel comes in from behind as Carrasco tries to turn, possibly catch him flat, but in real time, I don't think there's any way you can give that as a penalty.
Leicester 0, Atletico Madrid 1. BBC 5 Live. Champions League quarter-final tonight, Europa League quarter-final on Thursday. The Manchester United Anderlecht game, we're bringing you that from Old Trafford on Thursday night. Tomorrow we've got a big 5 Live sport programme. On the day that the British Lions squad is announced, we'll have a 2-hour special tomorrow night to digest and talk about it all from 7 o'clock, and we'll keep you across tomorrow's Champions League quarter-finals as well. Atletico have it on the right-hand side, the famous red and white stripes of the mattress makers, as they call them. Now Koke in the central area, Gabi, little triangles, but that's actually evaded Gabi, and Leicester now here with half-time approaching. We're in the 45th minute. Be a great time to equalise. Vardy cutting in from the right-hand side, through the legs of Jimenez, still going, but too many Atletico players there, and the final challenge actually has cleared it to Albrighton, and now Simpson joins the attack. Danny Simpson chips it right across the edge of the penalty area behind Ndidi, and actually, if they wanted to, Atletico could go gung-ho on the counter-attack, but they've got the handbrake on, and the half-time whistle goes in any case with no added time, and just the one goal, but agonisingly for Craig Shakespeare and his Leicester team. It was scored by Atletico Madrid's number 8, Saúl Ñíguez, in the 27th minute, and so we have a position here where Atletico Madrid lead by 1-0 on the night and by 2-0 on aggregate. Danny Mills.
Unfortunately for Leicester, they've just come up against a very, very good side. Incredibly well organised, technically absolutely brilliant, and a team that works incredibly hard, and Leicester are just finding it very, very difficult to get into the game at all.
Diego Simeone's game plan is working perfectly. Leicester City 0, Atletico Madrid 1. Yes, it is, and Craig Shakespeare is taking off Okazaki and Benalouan. So the central defender Benalouan is off. I'm not sure, maybe there's a problem there, who knows, but Ben Chilwell is coming on, so that means that Fuchs is going to play in central defence with Morgan, and Ulloa is on up front, so 2 up top, as Mark Pugac suggested, Danny Mills. So the team now, the Leicester team, Schmeichel, Simpson, Morgan, Fuchs and Chilwell, Mahrez, Drinkwater and Ndidi, Albrighton, Fuchs and Vardy. So 1-0 down against Atletico Madrid. What have Leicester got to do, Danny?
Go for it, simple as that. I mean, they were too one-dimensional, too predictable in the first half. They didn't get enough support up to Jamie Vardy. They almost got to go 4-2-4. Get Albrighton high and wide, get Mahrez high and wide, start getting some balls into the box. Can't just keep looking to hit Jamie Vardy on his own over the top.
Danny Mills with us here in the 5 Live commentary position at the King Power Stadium. Danny, who played in the World Cup for England, played in the Champions League semi-finals for Leeds, and we're watching Leicester City, as it stands, heading out of the Champions League at the quarter-final stage. The Atletico team, as it started the match, Oblak in goal, Juanfran, Savic, Godin and Felipe Luis, Saúl, Gabi, Jimenez, Koke, Carrasco and Griezmann. Free kick to Atletico Madrid, who are playing from right to left in this second half. Dark skies above now, the floodlights brightly shining, and it was very flat at half-time, I felt. Almost a resignation from the home supporters. That's what it felt like. Ball played forward though for Mahrez, and then he forces a throw-in 10 yards away from the corner flag, and Savic is holding onto the ball and he's trying to wrestle it off him, which he does, and throw it taken to Drinkwater. Mahrez angles it back, Chilwell's involved in the action, and then it's played back to Mahrez, who takes on and beats his man. Good looking cross, headed away by Godin. Albrighton with a volley, it's blocked in the area and it spins off the head of Jimenez over the bar for a corner early in the second half.
Well, Leicester needs something early. You were dead right. It was very, very flat at half time. They need a goal in the first 10 minutes or so, just to raise themselves and raise the crowd as well.
Mahrez with a corner to the near post, easily headed away. However, it's headed out to Drinkwater, who controls it, drives the ball to the edge of the area. It's blocked, and then comes back to Drinkwater, who blasts it high over the top of the Atletico Madrid crossbar for a goal kick. So Leicester City 0, Atletico Madrid 1. And Craig Shakespeare is making the point that Oblak is in no hurry to take this, and referee Rocky is aware of that and tells Oblak to get on with it. Still 0-0 between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich in the second leg, as Schmeichel just takes the ball back into his midriff inside his own half. Had a chance to see again, Danny, the challenge from Schmeichel on Carrasco that Atletico Madrid felt was a penalty in the first half.
I mean, if you're going to go to the letter of the law, it probably is a penalty. It's very, very difficult to see though in real time. The fact that Carrasco sort of turns his back into
throwing.
Schmeichel
Taken by Mahrez into the penalty area. Drinkwater though can't reach it, and it's cleared away by Atletico.
Schmeichel just caught him first, and it was all Schmeichel's trailing leg that won the ball. I mean, technically, it probably a foul, but very, very difficult for the referee to see it and to give a penalty.
Indeed, he was dispossessed by Gabi, and now Atletico Madrid are in business again inside the Leicester half. Koke plays it across. Koke, another of the Atletico Madrid players who came through their own youth system. That's a great part of this club as well. Felipe Luis is involved. The ball breaks though for Drinkwater, who passes it. Albrighton now on the right hand side. Vardy's dropped very deep here and he's off on a run. Vardy running at the Atletico Madrid defence, plays it to Chilwell on the left hand side. Chilwell's ball across is cleared away quite comfortably by the readjusting Jimenez, and Atletico with Juan Fran and Carrasco now just checks back into his own half, when I thought he might have been away for a burst down the right hand side. But they've played this brilliantly, Atletico Madrid. They've played it with control, discipline. They played within themselves, and they scored that goal, that brilliantly directed header from Saul.
And they've also been very respectful of the opposition, you know, and they know exactly what their threat is, you know, and they've nullified that. Biggest difference between the two teams in the final third.
Here's Griezmann now off on a run. He's passed into the penalty area. Griezmann still going. He squares it. Oh, now a challenge from Albrighton. Carrasco was arriving in the area, was sent sprawling. The two of them were right next to one another, and I have to confess, I felt that the referee might have been pointing to the penalty spot there for a moment, but he didn't.
It's a nudge. I mean, Griezmann was unbelievable. Sudden turn of pace, went past 2-3 Leicester defenders, and then one-on-one with the goalkeeper, was unbelievably unselfish, squared it across, and Albrighton came in at the far post, and there's a tiny little nudge. Griezmann leaves Drinkwater, Fuchs, Simpson for dead, plays it across, and as Carrasco comes in, Albright just leans on him, puts his hand on his back. Could have easily been given as a penalty, and that would have been game over.
I think he was a tad fortunate to get away with that. So after the controversial penalty in the first leg, Atletico Madrid, well, they've had one in the first half and one in the second that could easily have been given as penalties. Both of them probably more like penalties than the one was in the first leg.
The only thing that probably the referee looked at, he wasn't going to play the ball. You know, he wouldn't have got to the ball. That nudge did not stop him getting it. I know that shouldn't make any difference, but sometimes that...
Simpson, high ball to the edge of the area. Vardy heads it down. Oh, dipping volley narrowly over the top of the bar from Chilwell, who is arriving on that left flank. And he holds his head, the youngster, the left back. 2 feet over the bar.
Just cut across it, underneath it a little bit as well. I mean, he's only just come on. hardly had a chance to get involved in the pace of the game. Just sat up a little bit high for him as Juan Fran came in to get that challenge on him.
Leicester City 0, Atletico Madrid 1. BBC 5 Live. Still Real Madrid 0, Bayern Munich 0. Still Bolton 0, Bury 0. Bolton pushing for promotion. Bury trying to stay up in League One. Throw-in that will be taken by Fuchs. Fuchs was one of the players that Griezmann just glided past on that run. Must say as well, I was expecting Griezmann to shoot and score himself.
Incredibly unselfish, wasn't it? You know, it was on his right foot. You're thinking, just aim that towards the far corner. And even if he had shot and Schmeichel would have saved it, it probably would have popped out to Carrasco anyhow.
1-0 Atletico Madrid. Ndidi halfway inside the Atletico half as a fortunate bounce off Ujor there. Now Mahrez. Albrighton, right foot, deep cross, which is headed. It's Chilwell in there again, but he was being put off by Juan Fran, and on the stretch could only head it high over the crossbar this time. Goal kick.
Well, Leicester, they're trying. You know, they're trying something a little bit different. They're trying to get more people forward into the box, get crosses in, but still, as yet, they're still searching for that real bit of quality in the final third that has eluded them so far.
The home supporters using the cardboard clappers to try and get things going, but it's just not been that sort of night because Atletico Madrid have just been too good. Drinkwater deep inside his own half. Schmeichel, that's a poor clearance, straight to Gabi. Here's Griezmann, the dangerous French international, top scorer at Euro 2016. Felipe Luis. Now lovely work from Saul, who plays it round one side of Chilwell, but in actual fact the ball's run to Vardy, and Vardy's now off on a sprint down the left wing. Vardy into the full-back position, still going, but shows too much of that to the Atletico defence, and it runs over the dead ball line with Vardy frustrated, picks the ball up, punches it into the ground, and apologises to Joao and Mahrez that he wasn't able to make more of that.
Again, this is Simeone doing his homework, being very, very respectful. They know about Jamie Vardy's strength. Juan Fran can't quite match him for pace, but gets himself into the right position. Forces Vardy to hesitate, to go the long way round, and Jimenez comes across.
And Bayern Munich have scored in the Bernabeu.
Lewandowski penalty.
Thanks for that, because producer John's written it down, and honestly I couldn't tell you what that says. Here's Vardy, plays it to the right hand side. Albrighton now angles it back. Mahrez in the box. Mahrez, right-footed ball across the penalty area, hooked away. Overhead kick away by Griezmann. There's your man again, Danny Griezmann, back making the overhead kick clearance. And Albrighton has to stretch for it, but that shows too much of it to Koke, who's able to put it out of play for a throw-in down the right. So it's 2-2 now on aggregate between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Real in front on the away goals rule, but that is right there in the balance, and the holders now on a knife edge in that match. And we are going to see the first Atletico Madrid change, and it's going to be Lucas Hernandez, the 21-year-old French under-21 international, who is going to come on. Some of the Leicester players have come across for some drinks and some words from Craig Shakespeare, and the player who's making way is going to be Juan Fran. I'm not sure if he's got a problem. Lucas can play in central.
It didn't look like he had a problem, did he? He was chasing Jamie Vardy.
He did not. Maybe that did for him. And actually Diego Simeone's just talking to him there as he shakes hands with him, and he's been given a warm winter coat for this cool spring night in the East Midlands in England. Probably 10 degrees and more colder than it is in Madrid right now, as the ball's cleared away by Saul. Fuchs lifts the ball to the left, but Chilwell won't reach that, and it's out of play for a throw-in. And just looking to see, has Lucas gone over to right back? I think Lucas is in central defence, isn't he? Yeah. The substitute is playing in central defence with Godin, and Savic has gone to right back, which makes me think it must be a problem. Ball's played over the top, but Carrasco is in an offside position. Schmeichel dives forward, foot first, but it's a free kick to Leicester, half inside their own half. So if you've just joined us on 5 Live, Leicester are right up against it here. 2-0 down on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. Schmeichel with a long, high free kick, which is pumped to the edge of the area, but Ulloa, jumping high, can't get anywhere near it. It's over his head and bounces through for a goal kick. Just over half an hour to play. Leicester just need a goal.
Yeah, time's running out as well, though, isn't it? You know, they need a goal very, very soon to give themselves half a chance. We'll just have a look at one from. This is right, left thigh, right thigh. Trying to work it out now.
It's not that difficult.
Well, it's one or the other. Just with the camera angle, he's looking at us. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a thigh injury that he's picked up.
So that's a blow. Juan Fran, another one of the mainstays of this team. Ulloa heading the ball on the edge of the Atletico penalty area. Felipe Luis clears towards the halfway line. Now Simpson. Back to Mahrez. Mahrez now, the crowd expectant. Lays it to Albrighton, trying to find a way in from the right-hand side. He's played much of this second half on the right-hand side, Albrighton. And there's an Atletico Madrid player down near the corner of the area, and the referee has stopped play. And you can hear how that's gone down.
Is it Mahrez involved? Not quite sure what happened, but the referee has called on
It's Saul who's down.
The trainers very, very quickly. He's holding the outside of his left leg. Back of his knee as well, giving that a little rub.
Players are gathering round there.
Is that something that's happened off the ball?
Well, Albrighton was in possession at the time, wasn't he? After Mahrez had made the initial run. I mean, there's not a to-do over this. The players aren't.
Oh yeah, Mahrez just leaves his foot in.
Did he?
Yeah, just have a look at this on the monitor now. Look at that, that's naughty.
Was it? Right. On the inside of his...
Yeah, see, Mahrez, he sort of pulls out of the challenge, and because he pulls out, he then stamps down on the inside of his knee.
Okay.
So a little bit naughty.
Well, it hasn't been spotted or seen as a foul, because play begins with a drop ball, and Saul, who is the scorer of the only goal here tonight, is still receiving treatment off the field. So Leicester are playing against 10 men for the time being. Let's see if they can take advantage. Long ball forward from the back from Morgan, headed by Ulloa to the left hand side, but then Chilwell gets himself in a tangle and Atletico are able to clear. So they have changed it then. Craig Shakespeare playing with Albrighton is very much on this right hand side, isn't he now? And Chilwell is playing in a very advanced position on the left, as Danny Drinkwater has it in the centre circle. And we've got now almost exactly half an hour to play.
They've almost gone to a 3, John, haven't they?
I think they have.
You know, Danny Simpson, Wes Morgan and Fuchs playing as a 3, and then with the 2 wing backs.
With Chilwell left wing back and Albrighton right wing back.
Yeah, just trying to get as many people forward as possible.
1-0 to Atletico Madrid on 5 Live. High ball from Morgan again to the edge of the area, but this is meat and drink for this Atletico Madrid team. Godin just comes forward and heads it away quite easily. Another high ball, Fuchs this time, into the edge of the area. This is headed away by the newly arrived Lucas, and then cleared further away by Jimenez. Steered out to the left hand side, and Leicester going back all the way to their captain Morgan. Danny Simpson now. Diego Simeone looks, he's all animation, isn't he? He looks, as though this is on a knife edge rather than his team in a quite comfortable situation. Ulloa now back to Mahrez, 30 yards from goal. Mahrez to the right hand side. Albrighton with the cross, teases it over. It's over Vardy, chested down by Chilwell, shoots, deflected, and then in from Vardy. It's a goal back for Leicester. It fell to Jamie Vardy in the penalty area, and with players on the line and in the 6-yard box, never mind, he found the back of the net, and Leicester have their goal. Leicester 1, Atletico Madrid 1, and the Spaniards now 2-1 on aggregate.
Well, it's a lifeline. It's a very short lifeline, but it's given them half a chance to get back into this. And this is what Leicester do. They've put Atletico Madrid under more pressure. It's gone two up top. They've put people into the box. I mean, Chilwell was appealing for the handball originally. I mean, it looked like could have been, but what a great finish from Jamie Vardy. As it pops back out to him, keeps his eye on it on the half volley. Comes off his ankle, but does really well to control that, to keep it down. Really good finish, and well, who knows now? One more goal and it's going to be very, very interesting.
Leicester have to score another 2 without reply. And Didi, 30 yards out, slices it horribly. It's closer to the corner flag than the goal where it bounces out of play for a goal kick to Atletico Madrid. So they've found a way through. It's not another clean sheet for Jan Oblak and Atletico Madrid tonight. Jamie Vardy scoring his 14th goal of the season, his second in the Champions League, after scoring the away goal against Sevilla in the previous round, as Ulloa jumps into Jimenez, and it's a free kick to Atletico 10 yards inside their own half. Well, Atletico know exactly what they're going to do here. In fact, Simeone shows us because he walks out and he puts his palms up in the air and moves them up and down. Just slow it down. Slow it down. No need to be in any hurry here. And Craig Shakespeare is saying, he's turning to the fourth official now, and he's pointing to his wristwatch. Albrighton on the edge of the area. Clearance charge down. Simpson up towards Ulloa, who glances a header off to Mahrez. Mahrez back to Albrighton. Albrighton now goes for the long ball forward, but Godin steps forward with his high forehead and heads it away powerfully to Saúl, who's back on the field. Saúl loses it though, misplaced pass, Mahrez, and then it's deflected out of play to Craig Shakespeare, who can't pick it up and give it to Simpson quickly enough. Drinkwater, his pass is sliced forward. Just feel at the moment Leicester have got to maintain some control here. You know, it's not panic stations yet. Chilwell though, down the left, swings it in. Diving header away by Godin. And of course, you know, this is the time when Leicester are vulnerable to the counter-attack and the danger of Carrasco and of course Griezmann. Felipe Luis slips though as he passes it forward, but Wes Morgan miscontrols it and then lands on top of Carrasco.
He's been given offside though.
But Carrasco is offside, so it's a free kick to Leicester. It looked...
I mean, Wes Morgan might have got in the Lions team for that tackle.
I think it was 2 falls and a submission now that Morgan won by against Carrasco. Drinkwater now with an angled ball into the penalty area, but this one's headed away by Savic, now operating at right back. And then Koke just launches it away towards the halfway line. We've seen more long balls in this game tonight than I think I've seen all season.
Before anybody tweets in, yes, I know he's Jamaican. He wouldn't really get in the Lions team.
There's the ball on the halfway line. Lions squad announced tomorrow. We'll have news of that during the day tomorrow on 5 Live. 2 hours special tomorrow. Ball slipped forward, but all the way through to Schmeichel. And now Schmeichel quickly overruns it out, and now the King Power Stadium's getting going after that Vardy goal. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Atletico on aggregate. Chilwell, who's really lifted Leicester, the young left wing back as he's playing tonight, playing in a very advanced role, and he's won a throw-in on the left-hand side, so Fuchs is quickly over there to take it. Scored from one of his long throws at the weekend. Fuchs then smashes the loose ball off the field. Right, long throw. Leicester need 2 goals without reply. Let's see if they can get one here. A long one from Fuchs in. It's headed away, bounces down. Shot from Ulloa is blocked in the 6-yard box behind for a corner.
It was Lucas that has just come on. The great block on the line. I mean, everybody's in the way. There's bodies all over the place. Leicester just throwing the ball into the mixer.
Here is the corner from the left, but there's no one there in a blue Leicester shirt. It's easily headed away, back towards the left-hand side where Fuchs takes it down. Fuchs cross in. This one onto the head of Koke. Comes back to Fuchs. He angles it to Vardy on the edge of the 6-yard box. That's charged down. Albrighton hits a shot. Deflected right across the penalty area into the full-back position. And now it's swung away by the right boot of Savic. And we'll bounce out of play for what is given as a throw into Atletico Madrid. Vardy can't believe it. He's putting his hands to his face in front of the referee. Wants to be careful. He's a booking away from missing a potential semi-final first leg if Leicester are able to produce another miracle. But it's 1-1 on the night now on 5 Live. And as I say, need 2 goals without reply in the remaining 25 minutes, Danny Mills.
Yeah, it's still going to be very, very difficult. But, fair play to Craig Shakespeare. He's done incredibly well. He's changed. We said he needed to change it at half-time. Leicester were not in the first half at all. He's changed it. He's gone 3 at the back. He's put 2 up top. He's playing the wing-backs. He's getting crosses into the box. Yes, at times they're lacking a little bit of quality in the final third, but they're really having a go, and the fans will appreciate that.
In what is only his 10th match as the manager of Leicester City, Craig Shakespeare. Here's Felipe Luis, though, a rare attack from Atletico Madrid, but it's won back by Mahrez. Just nicked it away from him. Mahrez then dances past Gabi. Oh, but he's gone inside when he might have gone outside, and he's run into danger. And now it's Carrasco who's running forward with it. Morgan cuts it out. Morgan's on the ground, manages to clear it only to Felipe Luis. It's lifted over the top. Danger here. Griezmann, though, can't reach it. It's bounced behind for a goal kick. 1-1.
Leicester living on a knife edge at times. But, the crowd's starting to get behind them. I know there's just a little bit of belief that possibly Leicester could overhaul this, and Fernando Torres is preparing to come on.
Yes, they've called for Torres. Here's Mahrez, though, for Leicester. It's gone all the way. Vardy with a shot. It's blocked by Savic. Vardy shot from 12 yards, but it was straight at Savic, who was in the right place at the right time for Atletico. Otherwise, that could have been 2 for Leicester.
That's the chance. Glorious opportunity for Jamie Vardy. Doesn't strike it particularly cleanly. Somehow the cross found its way to him. He was in acres of space, 12 yards out from goal, all on his own, and he dug the shot into the ground and he hit Savic. It wasn't a great save. If he misses Savic, that's in the back of the net. Great chance for Jamie Vardy.
On target, but hit the defender. Right, it is going to be Carrasco who's going to make way for Fernando Torres, who is just leaning forward. Those brilliant times that he had at Liverpool that we remember so well. Not so brilliant at Chelsea, but remember that great part that he played in the Champions League success for Chelsea. And only comes now running into this quarter-final second leg here in Leicester. Fernando Torres for Atletico Madrid. Now 33 years old, back at the club where it all started for him. Leicester searching for the second goal. They need 2 more without reply. Mahrez running with it, but it's blocked by a diving Godin. It runs to Simpson, halfway inside the half. Simpson shoots. It's blocked out of play for a throw-in on the right-hand side here.
They mustn't get desperate. They've just got to keep themselves a little bit calm, and that was the chance with Vardy. He snatched at it.
Drinkwater plays it in. It's gone all the way. Falls to Ndidi. He shoots, deflected wide. Oh, it was a corner, but it's been given as a goal kick. Referee shakes his head impassively. I'm sure that took a deflection wide.
Leicester are in the ascendancy at the moment. They're getting on top of Atletico Madrid. They're getting balls into the box. They're getting chances. They've just got to get that little bit of composure when the ball comes into the box. They're getting caught up with the atmosphere at the moment. They're starting to panic a little bit. They're rushing things. Just take a breath, calm down, like Vardy should have done with that shot, and they could easily be winning 2-1.
Atletico Madrid have got to be strong here now, though, because something is happening. Something is stirring here. Just feel it going around the ground. And we have 20 minutes to play. Anything can happen in the next 20 minutes.
It's the place of fairy tales, John, this.
It is, isn't it just? Well, let's see if there's another little dose of magic that Leicester City have got for us. Currently, they're heading out. They need 2 goals without reply. Cross from the left-hand side for Leicester, which is headed away. But Atletico are coming under some severe pressure here. Albrighton then swings it in, looking for Ajor. This is headed away by Savic. They've got a big back line now with Savic at right back. Drinkwater, he manages to evade a challenge and then crosses. That didn't take a deflection. It was straight behind for a goal kick. And we are now into the last 20 minutes. The lines are open for the 5 Live Football Social. We're on air until 10:30 tonight. The new number, if you haven't heard, 08085 909 693 to join in tonight. What next for Leicester? Whatever happens. here in the next 20 minutes. 08085 909 693, and that number is now free to ring from mobiles and landlines. You can still text on 85058. Get in touch at social media at 5Live Sport. Simpson clears the ball straight into Torres, out of play for a throw-in to Leicester that Simpson plays all the way back to Schmeichel. So Fernando Torres is on, prowling around. That chance, remember the chance that he missed in the first leg when he slipped Fernando Torres. That was more Chelsea than Liverpool. Leicester playing it into the edge of the area, sliding clearance from Lucas. Now Griezmann inside his own half. Torres on the balls of his feet in the centre circles looking for it. Felipe Luis plays it down the left hand side, and this is taken on into the penalty area and angled back, but to no one in a red and white shirt. It's landed at the feet of Chilwell, and now Leicester are countering the counter attack. Ball played behind Albrighton. Diego Simeone looks a little anxious here. Craig Shakespeare urging his team on. Mahrez down the right. Mahrez left-footed ball into the penalty area. Vardy with a flick, but it's straight at Oblak. That was asking a lot from Vardy there, with his right instep, his right heel to flick it goalwards, but it was straight at the goalkeeper.
13-14 yards out, just tried that little Cruyff flick. No real chance of that making it. But for Football Social, I mean, even if Leicester lose this game, is it the end of the fairy tale? Will Leicester have any times like this again? And what next for Leicester? What do we expect next season? What would be your realistic expectations for Leicester City Football Club?
Challenge from Jimenez on Ojoy. You can hear the home fans felt that was a free kick, not given. So the Atletico are back in possession with Fernando Torres, who's off on a run. Morgan goes to ground, puts in the challenge. It breaks for Atletico. Then back in position on the edge of the area is Simpson, and he's headed it away to Drinkwater. Now Mahrez looks to his left. Chilwell is there. Chilwell up against Savage. Blocks the cross, does Savage. Mahrez swings a crossfield pass here to Albrighton on the right hand side. Takes it down superbly in his stride. Albrighton crossing. Took a deflection off Lucas and is cleared away by Godin, who came across. Atletico are going to make this change. It's going to be Correa who's coming on. Correa, remember, he had an opportunity to score a second goal in the Calderon late on in the game, wasn't able to take it, and he's going to replace Felipe Luis, who I think has got a problem.
Just to go back to the social, John, Leicester fans, even if Leicester are to lose this, has Craig Shakespeare done enough to keep the job on a full-time basis? If not, if you don't think he has, next season, who do you want as your manager? And what is a realistic expectation for next season? Mid-table and a cup run? Survival? Or do you expect to be challenging again for European football next season? So Leicester fans, we want to hear from you.
So that's Danny Mills with Mark Pugach. Jonathan Northcroft from the Sunday Times is going to join us as well to 10:30. 08085 909 693 to join in with that until 10:30. 5 Live Football Social. Tomorrow night, the British Lions special from 7 o'clock. Thursday night, commentary from Old Trafford on Manchester United, Anderlecht and their European quarter-final second leg. But tonight, 15 minutes to play. Leicester 1, Atletico Madrid 1. So it's 2-1 on aggregate to Atletico Madrid. Leicester have to score twice. Mahrez now dancing to the edge of the area. He was caught by Godin. He flung himself down, but there was contact, and it's a free kick just to the right on the edge of the D.
Well, this will be interesting. Vardy threw himself to the floor initially, and I think that's what the free kick has been given for.
One. Yeah.
Not for the one.
So it's left of centre.
On Mahrez. We're just having another look at it now.
Jimenez.
It's never been a free kick, by the way.
He wasn't anywhere near him.
No. And Mahrez as well, throwing himself to the floor. We've seen those two do it again, and we've seen him do it in the past. And this time they've got away with it. And who knows, it might just work. Great position.
However, yesterday Craig Shakespeare kept using the word smart. We've got to be smart. Now that's not smart, that's actually cheating. It's diving, but in a footballing sense, it's being smart. And I feel they were piqued by the way that Atletico...
I've always said, John, if there's contact, you have the right to go down, and that is acceptable. If there's no contact, it's a dive, and that is cheating.
Yeah. It's a free kick, though, to Leicester. Now, Drinkwater is standing to the right of the ball. We're into the last 15 minutes. Leicester have to score twice. Mahrez comes up, shoots, and it dips over the angle of post and bar. There won't be too many more opportunities for Leicester. They need to score 2 goals without reply to reach the semi-finals.
We just watched Oblak there. He had it covered all the way. Followed the ball. His eyes were on it. He went the right side, pulled his arms away in the end, knew it wasn't on target.
And now you see Simeone has switched to 3 central defenders, hasn't he? With the 2 fullbacks having to go off, I think, injured, both of them. So Godin, Savic and Jimenez are the 3 central defenders. Lucas is playing on the left-hand side, but he's got the 3 men up front, Torres and Griezmann and Correa. Here's Albright, good-looking cross for Ulloa, who challenges strongly in the air against Jimenez, who has stayed down. Oblak's got the ball, but then he does climb to his feet, Jimenez, and shakes hands with Ulloa as he walks past him. Leicester 1, Atletico Madrid 1. It's still 1-0 to Bayern Munich, so that's still 2-2. Real Madrid ahead on the away goals. Oh, it's 1-1 now. Ronaldo scored, and so now that is 3-2 to Real Madrid, and it looks as though Real are on their way through to...
Well, it's still in just the 1 goal they need to take it to extra time, so it hasn't really changed dramatically for Bayern.
But they are 3-2 up, and it's still Bolton 0, Bury 0 in the match in League 1. Right, free kick after that foul from Ndidi. Played forward by Gavi, headed on by Griezmann into the full-back position. Torres is there, a little touch from Morgan, down goes Torres. That was exactly what you were saying, Danny. There was the contact there, and Torres went down.
And that's fine, because as a defender, it's your own fault. You know, you're an idiot in this day and age for making any sort of contact with the opposition. If you don't make contact, then I have to say that is a dive and that is cheating. But I tell you what, just looking down at Simeone, if Leicester do turn this around and I'm able to win this tie, if I was an Atletico Madrid player, I would not be going back in the dressing room. I'd be disappearing on that far side and getting away with a fan somewhere.
He's gently simmering, isn't he, Simeone? Free kick, played in by Koke goalwards, but patted down at the near post by Schmeichel. He's simmering only at the moment. He could be boiling if Leicester score another one. And Ndidi to Mahrez. Mahrez turns, plays it into the path of Chilwell down the left-hand side. Chilwell's cross is blocked by Jimenez for a corner, Leicester corner. And Bayern Munich have scored. So it is now 3-3.
Extra time looms.
And extra time looms in the Bernabeu. Corner to Leicester. Here it comes from Fuchs, headed away by Saul, and then Chilwell played it forward for Fuchs, the corner taker, but beyond him and through for a goal kick. And we have now just over 10 minutes to play, so it's all square in the other tie. And if Ancelotti can see Bayern Munich through that one, his eyebrows will be going 20 to the dozen, won't they?
Sergio Ramos' own goal as well, John.
Was it? Atletico Madrid supporter. Maybe that's why Atletico Madrid supporters have started singing. They'll take a little bit of pleasure in that. And we've actually just been shown pictures of an extremely tame Sergio Ramos own goal. So it is now Real Madrid 1, Bayern Munich 2, and that is 3-3, all square on aggregate. Here it's 1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Atletico. And we have just over 10 minutes to go. Mahrez plays it forward. I increasingly feel Mahrez is the key to this. He's just hinting at producing something.
He just wasn't involved in the first half, was he? Couldn't get on the ball. I mean, Atletico were very, very good. But all credit to Craig Shakespeare. He's realised that they were getting beaten, and well beaten at half-time.
Throw-in's been given Leicester's
way. And he's made changes.
And now Mahrez swings it in high, looking for a shot, heads it on, but he had 2 defenders either side of him, very tight, and all he could do was glance it down, and it bounced up easily for Oblak to take. Danny Mills.
They just need that little bit of quality in the final third. Not panic. They're getting chances. They're getting the opportunity to put balls into the box. Just give themselves an extra half a second, and make sure that ball they put in has real quality.
Chilwell again down the left. He's been a star since he's come on, but again across is blocked. Handball, shout many of the Leicester fans behind that goal to our right. Blocked by Jimenez. It's only a throw-in though. It's going to be left to Fuchs. This is always a possibility, this long throw from Fuchs. It's a dangerous weapon. Leicester watching Atletico, everyone back inside their own box. In comes the throw, takes a glance, Vardy jumps for it. Godin is there, having challenged Vardy and won the ball, and clears it away. He's been just about the man of the match, Godin, as Morgan is out of position. Ball forward, Schmeichel's come halfway out of his goal and heads it in front of Griezmann. And now Chilwell plays like Ronaldo on the far side and keeps possession, not how he intended to, but he keeps it for Leicester. 10 minutes to play. If you've just joined us on 5 Live, hold on to your hats. Leicester are going out, but not if they score 2 goals without reply. Then they'll be into the semi-finals of the Champions League.
But if they are going out, John, they're going out with a fight, aren't they?
They are. Free kick after Saul handled Simpson's clearance, so Schmeichel is going to take this. Diego Simeone, arms waving, signals being sent out. He needs his defence, this famous defence, to stand strong. Long ball from Schmeichel. Saul actually headed it into his own box, but Savic takes it down. And I think Morgan might have hurt himself. Wes Morgan stretching for it, immediately clutched his hamstring, and Wes Morgan has stayed down. Leicester still have one substitution that they can make, but Morgan is just getting to his feet inside the Atletico penalty area, and I don't think he's going to be able to continue, Wes Morgan.
And I tell you what, Atletico will not put the ball out either.
Griezmann is having a look. He's got the ball on the left wing, plays it infield. Koke, and the home fan, Morgan has gone down on one knee, but Atletico eventually now lift the ball out of play on the halfway line, because Morgan just can't move over there, and that is going to be the end of his night, I would think.
Yeah, big worry. He's had that back injury, that sciatic nerve injury as well. I mean, it's a huge issue. He's done incredibly well, maybe just to get even fit for this game. You know, it's an awful thing, you know, when you do your back like that. You know, it's a real problem. He just stretches and you see his hamstring go.
Yeah, I saw it happen at the time.
Might not just be his game goes, that could easily be his season goes. He's a big old lad. He's a big unit. If that hamstring rips, this could be a long, long time.
Well, Daniel Amati is going to come on to replace him, and this is the final change for Leicester.
Our incredible presenter, Mark Pugac, has just shown me a tweet. 36 seconds of playing time between Ronaldo's equaliser and Ramos's own goal.
Oh dear. Well, Wes Morgan is actually just limping off the field on the far side, and Daniel Amati, the Ghanaian, is stepping forward now to come onto the field to replace him. So we wondered who would play in central defence for this match when it began this evening. It's going to end with Amati and Fuchs and Simpson as 3 central defenders. That's how Craig Shakespeare has played it in the second half, changed his system completely, and it has worked to the extent that Vardy goal just past the hour gave them a toehold in the match. But Atletico's defence, their pack defence, has held out superbly thus far. Amati into the game, very nearly presented it to Griezmann. However, he did clear it. Albrighton's ball over the top of Vardy. Jimenez for Atletico. Koke back into the centre circle for Gabi. Chips it across. Correa wriggles away from Albrighton. Mahrez, I think he might have fouled Correa there. Correa's given it away, and he's given it away to Chilwell. And Chilwell now goes for the early ball this time, but this is headed away by the diving Godin yet again on the edge of his D. Atletico, high ball forward, and Simpson's able to chest it down. So do give us a call, 08085, the new number, then 909-693 as it used to be. Get in touch at 5 Live Sport for the football social tonight. Albrighton's lost possession, and now Lucas Gabi with a little touch infield. That's a nice touch as well on the halfway line to set Griezmann away, but he's got the handbrake on here with Atletico in this position. Torres receives it, takes on Simpson. Simpson gets goal side and plays it across to Schmeichel. Rushed clearance from Schmeichel has given it to Saul. Saul taking the ball away towards the right hand side, not looking to get it into the penalty area with less than 5 minutes to play now. He's actually run it out of play, Saul, and it's a throw-in to Leicester on the edge of level with the edge of their own penalty area.
So Leicester fans, you know, even if you are to lose this game, Craig Shakespeare changed things at half-time. Has he done enough to get the managerial job on a permanent basis next season? And what are your expectations now? The fairy tale looks like it's ended. What are your expectations for next season? Mid-table, a cup run, European football?
Vardy takes it to Chilwell. Chilwell now approaching the penalty area. It's challenged by Savic. Chilwell goes round the outside of Savic towards the corner flag. Savic is still there, puts in the challenge, and he plays it off Chilwell and out of play for a throw-in 5 yards away from the corner flag.
Vidal has been sent off for Bayern Munich, so they're down to 10 men. Second yellow card. That goes to extra time. They're going to be playing that with 10 men.
Arturo Vidal has gone. It is 2-1 to Bayern Munich, 3-3 on aggregate, and they are approaching extra time. Still 4 minutes to play here. It'll be something similar there. Still Bolton 0, Bury 0, and Atletico with a throw deep inside their own half. Leicester nip back possession though. Azure drink water. And Didi is wrestled off the ball. Here's Griezmann again running that upright run of him. Round he goes past Simpson. Griezmann still going. Drinkwater trying to keep pace with him. Griezmann plays it to Correa. It bounces back. Drinkwater still there. And in the end, Drinkwater can play it back to Schmeichel, who clears long downfield. Leicester had left 5 men up there. It's reached that stage for them. They need 2 goals. Chilwell can't keep it in though on the far side, and it's a throw into Atletico. And we have 3 minutes to play plus added time here at the King Power Stadium.
Griezmann glides over the surface, doesn't he? He doesn't lift his feet up particularly high. You know, they're very low, sort of knee lift, and he just sort of glides over the surface. But he's very quick, great acceleration.
1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Atletico Madrid. Atletico on the verge of yet another Champions League semi-final. Oh, lovely change of feet from Mahrez. Then he puts his foot on the ball. He plays it to the space to Azure. Azure trying to work a shooting opportunity. Plays it infield to Ndidi, and Ndidi's pass to Drinkwater was short. And that meant that Saul could nip in, take it away, and Atletico are away on a half-pace counter-attack. Correa to the edge of the area. He's going to shoot, right-footed. Schmeichel stretches and saves. And overarms it out to Chilwell. And Gabby is after this and times it perfectly. And Gabby in no hurry here. The worrying sight for Leicester City is that some of the Spanish radio journalists have begun to leave their seats and are heading down to the interview areas. That tells us that they think that it's nearly over. So watch out for the aerials, everyone. They have these little devices, these mobile devices that have aerials sticking out of every corner. Free kick to Atletico out on the right-hand side.
Sounds like you might have been impaled by one of them, John, in your time.
Several times it's nearly happened. Harsh words. Ball with Gabby, he blocks it out of play. And we have less than 90 seconds to play. Leicester need to score twice without reply. And Atletico are very nearly there. The finalists, the beaten finalists in 2 of the last 3 seasons. Real Madrid may or may not be there in the semi-finals with them this time. That one hangs very much in the balance. But Torres here, and Atletico are keeping possession inside the Leicester half. Correa with a touch. Then it's a sliding interception from Saul to win it back again. And now Leicester do win it back. And a trip on Fuchs, and it's a free kick for Leicester.
Leicester have given absolutely everything this evening, especially they were overawed a little bit in the first half. It was a great finish from Saul, unmarked at the far post. He shouldn't have been in that position. Atletico Madrid were very, very good in the first half, and that's where the game was lost for Leicester. But Leicester, all credit to them. They've done what Leicester do. They've worked hard in this second half. They've tried to create opportunities. They've given absolutely everything for the cause. Yeah, and they've got to be proud of themselves for that.
Meanwhile, Atletico have defended brilliantly, as they do, with Godin at the fore. And here he is, Godin, who has won over 100 caps for Uruguay. Remember us watching him in South Africa when they reached the semi-finals. 4 minutes of added time to play after all of the substitutions. So Godin, with the jet black hair, takes this downfield for Atletico. Leicester need to score twice in 4 minutes. Otherwise, it's all over. Simpson wins a throw-in his own right-back position off Fernando Torres' outstretched leg. Mahrez, Spanish songs it is, you can hear inside the King Power Stadium, the songs of Atletico Madrid, as Griezmann takes it on into the area, angles it back, but Drinkwater arrived back in the area to prevent it from reaching Fernando Torres. Albrighton's pass, easy for Savic to take down and pass forward to Correa. And
unfortunately for Leicester, John, they've just come up against an exceptionally good team, you know, one of the best in Europe. They know how to win two-legged ties, they know how to play in this competition. They have all that. Technically they're very, very good. They work incredibly hard, very well organised.
And they've got the hunger as well.
Yeah,
third place in the Spanish league. You know, they're 10 points behind Real Madrid. This is their sole target, to try and win it finally. Ball forward, Joao heads it on. Vardy was there, but it was Jimenez this time who was able to slide in and get a foot to it. Cleared away. So, still have 2.5 minutes to play. It's got to go long from Simpson, and it does, to the edge of the area. Ulloa, that headed away by Godin, almost inevitably. Chilwell now on the left-hand side. Chilwell turns, takes on Savic round the outside, and doesn't get past him. Savic recovered superbly. And Koke, who's over there, the ball bounces out of play. It's a throw-in to Leicester.
I bet Man City wish they'd never let him go now.
Savic, part of one of the best defences.
Savage, not Savage, by the way.
We made that clear. Fuchs, long ball into the penalty area, headed on, falls to Albrighton right side of the box. He shoots. It's immediately charged down by Lucas this time. The left wing back. Mahrez lays it down the right to Albrighton. Albrighton chips it across to the back post, and Savic is there to head it behind for a corner with less than 2 minutes of added time to play now. This has got to go in.
They need a little bit of quality. Get the delivery right.
Fuchs to take it, raises his right arm, swings it in, Schmeichel's up, stretches for it, it's cleared, shot goalwards, a backheel flick from Vardy, didn't get the power on it, and it bounced straight through to Oblak. Schmeichel, who'd come all the way up, is now sprinting all the way back, and Simeone now is sending a message to the Atletico fans in the corner of the ground to do their bit to try and see the team through to the semi-final.
It looks like he wants
and
to fight them all.
a piece of his mind.
Brilliant.
And that's the response, and now the Leicester fans responding as well. Just wait till he gets you home. Simeone, as Griezmann plays it to the right. We've got 1 minute left. Leicester are going out. Atletico are going through to the semi-finals. Griezmann with the ball on the right-hand side. It's 1-1 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. And that Leicester were unable to score an away goal in the Calderon has been a big part of this. Ulloa heads it on. Vardy's off though, there's no one in the middle. Vardy takes on the defender. Godin, and it bounces behind for a corner.
Well, 30 seconds left, they need 2 goals. More than a miracle needed now.
Vardy takes a quick corner to Fuchs, who wasn't in position to take the corner. He swings it across. It's cleared away.
He can score here.
And with Schmeichel out of position, Griezmann can go for goal from the halfway line.
It's not going to make it.
But there's not enough power on it. And it's going to come to a grinding halt, the ball. And there's the final whistle. The whistle goes, and the Leicester players collapse to the ground. The fairy tale is finally over for Leicester City. But what a goal they gave it against this very, very good Atletico Madrid team in the second half. They scored 1 goal through Vardy, but one wasn't going to be enough. And Leicester City bow out in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. Let me just say that again. Leicester City in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. There's certainly no disgrace as Atletico go through to their 3rd semi-final in the space of 4 years. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Atletico on aggregate.